people like myself, we shut down 8 times in 18 months.
Vicki Vandenhoek is one of 900,000 business owners across the country who took out the Canadian Emergency Business Account loan to help her restaurant, Honker's Pub and Eatery, during the pandemic.
We all really, really needed the $60,000 would have been terrific because we never have recovered all of that yet.
The Lethbridge entrepreneur says she paid back the $40,000 portion of her $60,000 CEBA loan this past Monday, meaning she'll be one of the lucky ones who gets to keep the $20,000 forgivable portion.
And, very grateful for any of the forgiveness that we got from, the different organization of the government.
The deadline to pay back the interest-free loan was originally slated for December 31st, but was extended to January 18th.
There are about 22% that won't even receive the forgivable portion, unfortunately.
According to the Canadian Federation of Independent Business, the feds dished out a total of $48.4 billion to 900,000 small businesses across the country. Here in Alberta, that number breaks down to $6.8 million borrowed to 125,000 small business owners, including Vandenhoek.
I know there's going to be some places that probably will be really hard to return.
Andrew Senier of the CFIB says about 1/3 of Alberta businesses anticipate being able to meet today's deadline without taking out any other forms of debt.
And the remainder have sort of gone through their banks and found other ways to meet the deadline. Otherwise, it goes into the full amount, which is $60,000. So with the federal government, you will be on 5% interest for 3 years.
Those loans were meant to help businesses that were in trouble due to the pandemic.
Hunter Hagee is with the Lethbridge Downtown BRZ and says, although the grant portion is appreciated, there's a flaw with the system.
The problem is in paying it back, the people who needed it the least, who were able to pay it back, are benefited by getting the grant portion of it. The people who really needed that money and can't pay it back yet will get punished and have to pay it all, including that grant portion. So in fairness, they should have just given that grant money to all businesses.
And it's got business groups worried that thousands of struggling entrepreneurs could be forced to close their doors if they can't pay it back by today's deadline.
It would be tragic to see all those organizations that made it through the pandemic and kept their doors open, and for something like this not to work out.
They're really stressed. Small businesses across the province are really stressed. It's been a tough year. It's been a tough 3 years for that matter. It started with the pandemic. I mean, nobody chose the pandemic. You and I didn't. Small businesses didn't choose the pandemic. The loans were there to support small businesses in their time of need. And these might be the loans that shut them down, which is very, very unfortunate.
For Bridge City News, I'm Jeannette Rocher.